Hey, Heartland fans, the moment we've all been waiting for is here. Season 18, Episode 10, takes us on a thrilling journey through love, loss, and unforgettable memories. Will Amy finally say I do to Nathan, or will her heart still be tethered to Ty and their shared legacy? Will the wedding ceremony of Amy and Nathan take place in Season 19? The stakes are higher than ever, and emotions run deep. Get ready to uncover the twists, turns, and heartfelt moments that will leave you on the edge of your seat. The episode begins with a serene scene at Heartland Ranch, but don't let the calm fool you. There's a storm brewing. Amy sits quietly in the loft, flipping through an old photo album filled with snapshots of her life with Ty. Each picture tells a story of love, laughter, and a bond that seemed unbreakable. The nostalgia is overwhelming, but Amy knows she has to move forward. For Lindy, for herself, and maybe, just maybe, for Nathan. Nathan arrives at the ranch, his usual confident demeanor softened by a touch of nervousness. He's come to discuss the upcoming wedding ceremony, but as he starts to talk, he notices Amy's distant gaze. "Thinking about Ty again?" he asks gently. Amy nods, her eyes brimming with tears. "It's hard not to," she admits. "He was my world." Their conversation takes a heartfelt turn as Nathan opens up about his own fears. He knows he can never replace Ty, and he doesn't want to. "I just want to be here for you, Amy. For you and Lindy. As we are, no comparisons, no expectations." His honesty touches Amy, but it also leaves her conflicted. Can she truly give her heart to someone else without feeling like she's betraying Ty? Meanwhile, Lindy innocently stumbles into the room, clutching a drawing she made. It's a picture of her family, her, Amy, and Ty. The simplicity of the drawing tugs at Amy's heartstrings, serving as a poignant reminder of what she's lost and what she's trying to rebuild. Nathan kneels beside Lindy, complimenting her artistic talent and asking about the stories behind her drawing. His effort to connect with Lindy doesn't go unnoticed, but it only adds to Amy's internal turmoil. As the day progresses, Amy finds herself drawn to Nathan in ways she didn't expect. He's patient, understanding, and genuinely cares for Lindy. But just as she begins to feel a glimmer of hope, Caleb drops by the ranch with a piece of shocking news that shakes Amy to her core. The peaceful rhythm of the day at Heartland Ranch is shattered as Caleb pulls up in his truck, his expression grim. Amy, Nathan, and Lindy are sitting on the porch, enjoying the crisp air, when Caleb steps out and hesitates, clearly holding back something significant. "Amy, we need to talk," he finally says, his voice heavy with concern. Nathan immediately senses the tension and offers to take Lindy to the barn, giving Amy and Caleb privacy. Once they're alone, Caleb begins. "There's something about Nathan you need to know," Caleb says, carefully choosing his words. Amy stiffens, her mind racing. "What is it?" she asks, her voice a mix of fear and frustration. Caleb reveals that Nathan's past isn't as simple as he's made it seem. While he doesn't delve into specifics, he warns Amy to tread carefully. Amy's mind spirals as she tries to process Caleb's words. Could Nathan be hiding something? And if so, what does it mean for their relationship and the upcoming wedding? Caleb doesn't want to interfere, but feels a sense of responsibility to protect Amy from making a mistake she might regret. Later that evening, Amy confronts Nathan. "Caleb came by today," she begins cautiously. "He said there's something about your past I should know. Is there?" Nathan is caught off guard, but doesn't deny it. "Yes, there is," he admits, his eyes steady on hers. He explains that before moving to Hudson, he went through a difficult divorce and lost custody of his own daughter due to his workaholic lifestyle and inability to prioritize family. "I've made mistakes, Amy. Big ones. But I've learned from them. Being here, with you and Lindy, it's given me a second chance to be the kind of person I want to be." Amy is torn. Nathan's honesty is admirable, but Caleb's warning lingers in her mind. Could she trust him fully, knowing the weight of his past? Or was Caleb right to caution her? As the night deepens, Amy turns to her recollections of Ty for steering. She recollects his unwavering aid and capability to see the satisfactory in her, even during their toughest instances. Would Ty have given Nathan a threat, or would he have been simply as cautious as Caleb? Can she permit cross of her fears and consider Nathan, Or will Caleb's warning and her unresolved emotions for Ty keep her from shifting ahead? The morning sun breaks through the clouds, casting a golden glow over the Heartland ranch. Amy sits quietly inside the kitchen, watching Lindy play with a box of old keepsakes. The room is full of the echoes of Ty's laughter and the love they as soon as shared. Every nook of the house holds a reminiscence, and for Amy, the burden of those memories feels heavier than ever. Lindy pulls out an image of Ty and herself, taken on her 3rd birthday. "Mom, do you watch Dad might be happy with me?" she asks innocently. The question cuts through Amy like a knife, her throat tightening as she struggles to find the right phrases. "Oh, Lindy, your dad might be so happy with you. He always said you were his greatest adventure." This soft moment triggers a flood of reminiscences. Amy recalls Ty's unwavering devotion to their family, the sacrifices he made, and the affection they shared. The cognizance hits her hard. Ty's impact on her lifestyles is immeasurable, and his legacy lives on in Lindy. As the day unfolds, Amy decides to proportion some of these memories with Lindy, taking her on a horseback journey to Ty's preferred spot by using the river. There, she tells Lindy memories approximately Ty's braveness, his humor, and the lessons he taught her. For Amy, this journey will become extra than just a way to honor Ty's memory. It's a risk to reconnect with Lindy and rediscover her very own electricity, but even amidst the peace of the moment, Nathan's presence looms in Amy's mind. How could she reconcile her love for Ty with the possibility of establishing her heart to a person new? Later that day, Nathan joins them at the river. He techniques carefully, sensing Amy's vulnerability. "I didn't mean to intrude," he says softly, his eyes on Lindy as she splashes within the water. Amy shakes her head, gesturing for him to sit down. "I've been thinking lots about Ty," Amy admits. "He changed into the whole thing, Nathan. Losing him, it changed me." Nathan nods, acknowledging the depth of her pain. "I'm now not looking to replace him, Amy. I in no way may want to. But I need to be right here for you and Lindy, in whatever manner you'll let me." The sincerity in Nathan's phrases stirs something in Amy. Could she allow herself to embody a future with him whilst nevertheless cherishing the past she shared with Ty? Or might the weight of her recollections maintain her back from finding happiness once more? As the solar sets over the ranch, Amy and Nathan proportion a quiet second, their communication leaving greater questions than solutions. The scene is an ideal blend of desire and uncertainty, leaving viewers on the brink of their seats. Will Amy find the energy to move ahead, or will her love for Ty hold her anchored in the past? As night falls on Heartland Ranch in Season 18, Episode 10, the day's events weigh closely on Amy. She stands at the porch, gazing on the stars, in search of solace inside the vastness of the night sky. Memories of Ty flood her mind, intertwined with glimpses of her developing bond with Nathan. Her coronary heart feels like it's being pulled in 2 instructions, one tethered to the beyond, and the other hesitantly inching toward the future. Nathan arrives, his presence quiet but simple. "Amy, I recognize this isn't smooth for you," he begins, his voice steady, however filled with vulnerability. "I don't need to rush you into something. I simply need to recognize in which we stand." This second turns into a pivotal point within the story. Amy turns to stand him, her expression a combination of worry, love, and uncertainty. "Nathan, I don't know. Ty wasn't just my husband. He became my soulmate, the daddy of my toddler, my associate in the whole thing. It's now not that easy for me." Nathan takes a step nearer, his eyes looking hers for even a flicker of wish. "I recognize that, Amy, and I'm not asking you to forget about him. I don't suppose you ever could. But perhaps, simply maybe, you may discover room to your heart for someone else, not to update Ty, but to stroll along you as you keep his reminiscence alive." Amy's emotions threaten to weigh down her as Nathan speaks. His phrases are full of sincerity and information, yet they force her to confront the very component she's been keeping off, the possibility of establishing herself up to love again. As the two continue their heartfelt conversation, Lindy appears on the porch, holding a small book in her hands. "Mom, can we read this tonight?" she asks innocently. Amy recognizes the book instantly. It's one Ty used to read to Lindy before bedtime. This innocent moment brings the conversation to a halt, leaving both Amy and Nathan reflecting on the complexities of their situation. Amy takes the book from Lindy and smiles softly. Of course, sweetheart. Let's go inside. Nathan watches as Amy and Lindy retreat into the house. He remains on the porch, lost in thought. His love for Amy is undeniable, but so is the reality of her struggles. He knows that her heart is a delicate balance of love, loss, and resilience. Inside, as Amy reads to Lindy, she feels a deep sense of peace. Ty's presence is almost tangible, woven into the words of the story and the warmth of Lindy's embrace. Yet, a part of her mind lingers on Nathan's words. Could she truly allow herself to love again without betraying Ty's memory? The following day brings a new challenge. Caleb arrives at the ranch, sensing the emotional turmoil Amy is facing. "You know, Amy," Caleb begins, his tone gentle but firm, "Ty would have wanted you to be happy. He wouldn't want you to feel guilty for moving on. That's not who he was." Amy looks at Caleb, her eyes brimming with tears. "It's not about guilt, Caleb. It's about letting go, and I don't know if I can." Caleb places a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're not letting go, Amy. You're carrying him with you, in your heart, in Lindy's smile, in everything you do. But life doesn't stop. You've got so much love to give. And maybe, just maybe, it's okay to share that with someone else." Caleb's words strike a chord with Amy, adding another layer to her internal struggle. She knows he's right, but taking that leap feels like stepping into the unknown. As the day progresses in Heartland 18, Nathan joins Amy and Lindy for a horseback ride. It's a simple yet profound moment, filled with unspoken emotions and fleeting glances. Nathan's ease with Lindy becomes evident as he helps her with the reins and shares stories that make her laugh. For a brief moment, the three of them feel like a family, and Amy can't ignore the warmth it brings. Amy stands alone, looking out over the water, her reflection staring back at her. The decision she faces is monumental, not just for her, but for Lindy and the future of their family. Will Amy allow herself to embrace a new chapter with Nathan, or will her love for Ty keep her anchored in the past? The crossroads she stands at is both terrifying and exhilarating, leaving the audience eagerly awaiting what comes next. As the sun dips behind the hills of Heartland Ranch, the golden light seems to illuminate the intricate web of emotions surrounding Amy's world. For Amy, each passing moment brings a blend of comfort in familiar surroundings and the uncertainty of stepping into something new. Lindy, always perceptive despite her young age, unknowingly becomes the voice of clarity in this turbulent chapter. The story pivots around Lindy's growing awareness of the changes around her. Although young, she picks up on the unspoken tension between her mother and Nathan. One evening, after dinner, Lindy approaches Amy with a question that catches her off guard. "Mom, are you happy?" Lindy's wide, innocent eyes search Amy's face for an answer. Amy is taken aback, unsure how to respond. "Of course I am, sweetheart. Why do you ask?" Lindy hesitates before answering. "Because sometimes you look like you're thinking about Dad, and other times you look at Nathan like you want to smile, but you don't." This simple observation shakes Amy to her core. How could a child so young perceive something she herself is still grappling with? Lindy's words act as a mirror, reflecting the conflicting emotions that Amy has tried so hard to keep hidden. Meanwhile, in Heartland Season 18, Episode 10, Nathan's own journey is not without its struggles. Despite his understanding nature, the ambiguity of his relationship with Amy begins to weigh on him. He confides in Caleb during a quiet moment at the ranch. "I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, Caleb. I want to be there for Amy, for Lindy, but I don't know if I'm overstepping." Caleb, always the voice of reason, offers his perspective. "Amy's been through a lot, Nathan, but I'll tell you this. If you're serious about her, you've got to show her that you're in it for the long haul. It's not just about Amy, it's about Lindy, too. She needs stability." Nathan takes Caleb's advice to heart, deciding to spend more time with Lindy to show his commitment, not just to Amy, but to their potential future as a family. He organizes a day of horseback riding and fishing, activities that Ty once loved to do with Lindy. At first, Amy is hesitant about the idea, but Lindy's excitement convinces her to go along with it. Lindy warms up to Nathan in a way Amy hadn't fully anticipated. Watching them interact, Amy feels a mix of emotions: joy at seeing her daughter so happy, and a pang of guilt for allowing another man into their lives. During a quiet moment by the lake, Lindy asks Nathan a question that brings tears to his eyes. "Do you think my dad would like you?" Nathan kneels to meet her gaze, his voice steady but emotional. "I hope so, Lindy. Your dad was an amazing man, and I'd be honored if he thought I was good enough to be part of your life." Amy overhears this exchange and feels a shift in her heart. Nathan isn't trying to replace Ty, he's honoring his memory while carving out a place for himself. Despite the day's successes, Amy's internal battle remains. That evening, she sits alone in Ty's old truck, a place that holds countless memories of their time together. She clutches a photo of Ty and Lindy, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know if I can do this," she whispers, as though speaking to Ty's spirit. "I don't know how to move forward without feeling like I'm leaving you behind." But then she recalls something Ty once said to her during a difficult time. "Life is about moving forward, even when it's hard. You have to trust yourself, Amy. You're stronger than you think." The episode culminates in an extreme and emotional communication between Amy and Nathan at Heartland Ranch, with the sun putting over the Heartland Hills. The familiar splendor of the ranch juxtaposes the whirlwind of feelings interior Amy's coronary heart. With every passing day, Amy has grown extra conflicted about her feelings for Nathan, her reminiscences of Ty, and her duties as a mom to Lindy. The moment has arrived for Amy to confront the reality about wherein her heart simply lies and what form of future she wants to build for herself and her daughter. The final scene of the episode opens with Amy's status on the porch, her back turned to Nathan, who is nervously looking ahead to her reaction. The wind rustles the leaves of the trees, developing an almost serene backdrop to the typhoon of emotions inside Amy. "Why are you continued to write here, Nathan?" Amy asks, her voice barely above a whisper, however within depth that hangs in the air. Nathan takes a deep breath earlier than stepping forward. "Because I'm no longer geared up to stroll away, Amy. I realize what you've been through, however I trust in us. I consider inside the own family we may be." Amy feels a lump shape in her throat, her mind flashing return to the soft moments with Ty, his smile, his chortle, their shared goals of a future together. She shakes her head, trying to suppress the flood of reminiscences that threatens to weigh down her. "I don't recognize if I can ever allow go of what I had with Ty. Lindy and I were so happy, and I don't understand if I can replace him." Nathan steps closer, his gaze smooth but unwavering. "I don't want to replace Ty, Amy. He will usually be a part of Lindy's existence, and yours. But I want to construct something new with you, something that honors what you had, however, doesn't keep you locked in the beyond." The weight of Nathan's phrases lands heavily on Amy's heart. He's right. Ty can never get replaced, but lifestyles has long gone on, and Lindy desires stability. Amy realizes that with the aid of preserving directly to her grief, she's no longer just hurting herself. She's additionally accidentally restricting Lindy's capability to transport ahead. Amy's mind are interrupted with the aid of Lindy's voice calling from in the house. "Mom! Nathan! Come inside, it's getting overdue!" Amy exchanges a look with Nathan, and in that brief moment, something shifts. She sees now not just the person who's been patiently anticipating her to heal, but also someone who is in reality invested in Lindy's happiness. She is aware of, deep down, that Nathan isn't simply part of her destiny. He could be a father determined to Lindy, someone who will shield and care for her the way Ty would have desired. With a sigh, Amy turns to Nathan, her voice slightly audible as she speaks. "I can't promise that I'll ever forget about Ty. I can't erase the past. However, I suppose I'm geared up to start building something with you." Nathan's expression softens, and he reaches out to take Amy's hand. "I'm no longer asking you to forget about him, Amy. I'm asking you to permit me be part of your future and Lindy's destiny." They stand there, hand in hand, with a new understanding among them. Amy is aware of that this is just the beginning in their adventure collectively, an adventure that gained to erase the pain of the past, however will create new reminiscences, new wish, and new love. The scene cuts to the next morning in Heartland Season 18, Episode 10, in which Amy, Nathan, and Lindy are visible running together round Heartland. The bond between Nathan and Lindy continues to develop as they spend time feeding the horses, guffawing collectively, and bonding over shared moments. For Amy, it's a bittersweet pleasure. She watches Nathan with Lindy, seeing glimpses of the person he should grow to be for her daughter. It's a gradual, careful method, but it's development. Later that day in Heartland, Season 18, Episode 10, Amy and Nathan sit down together, the load in their previous conversations still lingering inside the air. Nathan, ever the considerate one, brings up the topic of marriage. "Do you ever reflect on consideration on getting married again, Amy?" Nathan asks, his voice low, however filled with a quiet desire. Amy looks at him, her mind swirling with the complexity of her emotions. It's a query she's prevented for a long time, one which feels not possible to reply. "I don't understand," Amy admits. "I've constantly conceived of Ty as my one actual love. But that doesn't imply I can't love once more. I just don't know why or how on the way to happen." Nathan nods. Know how the intensity of Amy's conflict. "I'm not dashing you, Amy. We'll take it sooner or later at a time, collectively. Whatever you make a decision, I'll be right here." The tenderness of his words gives Amy an experience of peace she hadn't expected. She realizes that marriage, love, and circle of relatives don't ought to come with conditions. They don't need to follow a fixed timeline. What matters is the relationship they share, the dedication to constructing a destiny together, and the shared love they both have for Lindy. As the episode draws to a close of Heartland Season 18, Episode 10, the camera pans out, capturing the peaceful landscape of Heartland Ranch. The ranch, once a place of solitude for Amy after Ty's death, now feels alive with possibility. Amy stands beside Nathan, Lindy playing nearby, and for the first time in a long while, Amy feels hopeful about the future. She knows that there will be challenges ahead. No relationship is without its hurdles, especially when it comes to blending families and moving on from a past that still holds so many precious memories. But Amy also knows that she's not alone. She has Nathan by her side, and together, they'll find their way through the complexities of life, love, and family. The final shot is a moment of quiet reflection as Amy watches Lindy run towards her, a smile on her face that speaks volumes. The future may still be uncertain, but Amy is ready to face it, with love and hope in her heart. And with that, the screen fades to black, leaving fans eagerly anticipating what's to come in the next chapter of Amy's journey. Will Amy and Nathan take the next step in their relationship? Will Lindy continue to warm to Nathan as a father figure? And most importantly, will Amy continue to honor Ty's memory while embracing the new possibilities that life has to offer? Share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe our channel, Mr. Perfect, for more Heartland Season 18 updates. Thank you!